Darkness has descended upon the city, and the creatures of the night have begun to stir. This is the time when the veil between the realms of the living and the dead is the thinnest, and all that is not what it appears to be. Like a lone sentinel, one candle flickers in the night, revealing all that lurks in the darkness. This is Ghost Chronicles, Book of Shadows. Welcome to the nightmare.
Well, good evening, everyone. And I am that low candle defeating the night. Anyways, I'm Ron Kolick, and you're not. Joining me is my favorite West Coast witch, Marla Brooks. I had to think of your name.
Oh, thanks. We just met.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we also have my co-host in the medium rare edition, Leslie Martin.
Yes, I'm here. I am.
Right. Have you ever heard
Good
that
to be
opening
here.
before?
No, I've never heard that opening before.
I know it.
You did a nice job.
She's the only one that has her own opening, and she also does those little things for me as well. That what do you call those, Marla? When you post what the show's about?
Oh, you mean like little banner things?
Yeah, little banner things.
Yeah, little banner things. Yeah.
You're so proficient. That's why I love you. You know.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm loved for some reason then, at least. Hey.
For your computer skills.
For something, anyways.
Well, that's a big thing from Rum to say that. So that's good.
Well, I know. A compliment doesn't come very often from Ron Kolick, so anytime it comes around, you have to hold it preciously.
Hey, I'm here.
Well, and I'll just keep going and saying that when he's on my show, sometimes, he's fun. And I had a couple people call me or get me in the chat room, private chat room, and say, he's so mean to you. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Somehow it's endearing. I don't know how it happens, but sometimes, you think, oh, he's being mean to me. Aw.
If he's taking the time to do that, that's also a good thing.
Oh, God.
See?
Now
we understand you, Ron.
Yeah, and now he's so not sure that we'll ever be back on the same show with him together either.
I don't think you will ever. Anyways, I want to congratulate you guys, you, Marla, Leslie, Ann Carrigan, the Blonde Bombshell, and Maureen Wood, my original co-host, the Queen of Pain, because our downloads for last month were simply amazing. So I want to thank you guys very, very much for whatever the hell you did. I have no clue, but that's...
Oh, my God, and now he's thanking us, too. I think this is a little too much, Ron. Are you feeling okay?
Possessed. By the ghost of Joe Biden. Oh, wait a minute, he's still living. Are you sure? I don't know. Anyway, we brought this. I brought you guys on the show because I have a couple of subjects I'd like to talk with you about. I'm not really sure which one to start with, but I'm going to start with divination, which is condemned by the Catholic Church, by the way. Just to throw that out there. So there you go. But there are many, many forms of divination, and you might know it as mediums, you might know it as psychics, you might know it as horoscopes, you might know it as astrology, you might know it as dowsing, you might know it as tarot cards. God, there's a lot of them, isn't there? Anyways, but that's just scratching the surface, right, Marla? Yeah,
I mean, there's so many times. I was going to do a book with Tim Shaw about that, but somehow it fell through. But in the meantime, I was doing, who? That guy, your favorite friend.
Chubb?
Huh? Tim Shaw. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Chubb.
Well, he was chubby, but not anymore. He's going to the...
Carry on.
Anyway, so I did research, and I found a whole bunch of lesser-known forms of divination, and then I found also some lesser civilized forms of divination.
Oh, civilized forms.
Well, they're kind of nasty, some of them. Like where is it? I got to scroll down here. Well, scatomancy. It's the reading. Scatomancy. Yeah, it's the reading of a person's fortune by examining their bodily excrement. Yeah. Let's see. Demonomancy is divination by summoning and or the aid of demons. And then there's, how do I pronounce this? I'm going to get like you. Eptoscomancy, which is division by the visceral of human sacrifices.
So is that like reading entrails?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That's always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I've used ghost hunts before.
Well, here's this one's too bad. I don't want to talk about it on the air. It's icky.
What?
Okay, it's called anthropomancy, and it's a method of divination by the entrails of dead or dying men or women, often virgin female children, through sacrifice.
See, it's all you witches. That's what did it. You give divination a bad name.
We do the good stuff. We don't mess with this stuff.
What are you talking about? Where'd they get it from?
From crazy people, I think.
Witches.
Oh, keep it up.
So my husband used to work in a prison, and he had this prisoner who used to cut himself open and pull out of his intestines. So he was misunderstood. He was just doing divination. He wasn't like
what?
He wasn't harming himself. Yeah, seriously.
Are you serious, Leslie?
I am serious. I am dead serious.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I know.
He would disembowel himself.
How did they cut himself? How did they ever get the freaking knife or whatever instrument it was?
Well, they take whatever they can, and then they just sharpen it through the day. And so they use them as shanks or whatever, and he used them on himself. So,
yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so anytime Mike would come home with a story, it would make me feel really a lot better about my job as a behavior specialist at a school. Like, well, we're not doing that at school, so I guess that's a good thing.
Well, you could do that and say, it's like, oh, I was just trying to find out why he had a behavioral issue. Oh, did I say that on the air? Slap me.
Yeah, I will not follow that advice. Thank you.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't follow that advice. I don't even know why I even said that, but that's diarrhea of the mouth, I guess. I have no clue. But anyway, so I mean, they're all forms of divination. Leslie, you use several forms yourself, right?
Yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, I use pendulums. I use dowsing rods. We've done table tipping. We do quite a bit of divination with what we do.
Exactly. So what makes, Ouija boards is divination, in case you kids didn't know.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Yes. And I choose to use the psychic circle because I just like it better. But yeah, that's divination too. We've gotten some excellent results from that too. We were in a lighthouse one night and we met our friend Scud, Mr. Scudmore, through the psychic circle.
That's true. This is very true. We, after an investigation late at night when we were punch happy, we took out the psychic circle and did a little psychic circle and made contact with a gentleman who claims he was a pirate. His name was Scud. He buried Spanish gold in Biddeford, and he was trying to tell us where it was, giving us all kinds of numbers and stuff. But anyways, we didn't find the gold, which is the sad part. But anyway, and as we get back from our investigation, Jim did research and found out there was a pirate named Scud. His name was Peter Scudmore, and he was hanged in Boston. He was a surgeon, and I found more information that Spanish gold was found buried in a field in Biddeford Pool. So there you go.
Good times.
Yeah, good old day. So what makes one form of divination more evil, in quotations, than another? For instance, Ouija boards. Ouija boards, a lot of people won't touch them. They don't even, you mentioned the word Ouija board and they just slither away from it.
Mhm.
So what makes one form of divination more evil than another, or more acceptable than the other?
I
Define
think that
evil.
Ouija boards, right? Ouija boards have a bad name because Hollywood took the lead on that, and they made it so scary that people don't want to touch one. But even as I was growing up, we had a Ouija board in my house, and my mother would say, "Don't leave the cover off because you'll invite evil." So it has a stigma attached to it, no matter what, because the old wives' tales and Hollywood and everything else. But it is just the same as using a psychic circle or a table for table tipping or a pendulum for dowsing. It's the same thing.
You agree with that, Marlon?
Yeah. And, even something really easy as automatic writing is considered divination. And,
True.
and people always think, oh, no, you can't do that. There's a spirit going to jump in and write bad things, I mean, it's just education. This is what makes the difference between something good and something bad. If you don't
It's
know.
beliefs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Anything that you don't know seems to be scary because it's the unknown. It's, oh my goodness, I don't dare to do that. So education is the key.
Mm-hmm.
So just to make you guys feel better, they now have a Ouija board. You can talk to God directly for it. So just to give you a
Thanks.
heads up.
Uh-huh.
So you might want to get one of those. I think they're only like $30 or something. Yeah,
Oh, I'll run to beat the band. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reason, of course, is because the government satellites are intercepting the prayers to God. And therefore, our prayers can't get through because of these satellites the government put up to intercept our prayers. So now we have this good device that we can talk directly to God and cut out the middleman. So,
well, I know Siri's listening to my prayers because anything I pray about, like I really like to have this pair of jeans. They show up on Facebook, so
that's true. So AI is the new God, I guess.
Well, pretty much. That's funny though.
Yeah. I was teaching I don't know if you were with me, Leslie, or not, but I did a what do you call it? Zoom class for Circles of Wisdom, and it was on divination. I think it was called Everyday Divination, and we looked at various forms of divination. And I had one contestant that I came across this one, which is called Charlie Charlie. I don't know if any of you.
The person in your Zoom class was a contestant. I haven't gotten past that yet, but yes, I was with you in that Zoom class and one of your students. Yes.
And she
one of the
scooted,
contestants.
and she scooted on it. So it was interesting. She wouldn't have any part of it. She said, "My son's in the house. I'm hanging up," and that was it. But all it was a piece of paper with I think it was in quadrants, and you put a pencil on top of a pencil, and then they use it as divination. But they get this whole story about how you get in touch with this boy that was murdered in Mexico, and his name is Charlie Charlie, and all this stuff that came through. So people were totally frightened of the pencils. So we have these, I don't know if they're called phobias or anything, but we have some fear of the unknown, like you mentioned earlier. I forget which one of you did it, but is that something that can be overcome, or is it something that's totally inbred with us, and certain people will never get involved in anything like that?
That's more like it because they have blinders on and they were taught bad things, and they never didn't. When they grew up, they didn't use their own mind. They just kept saying, "Well, Mommy told me this isn't good."
But why?
And there are also the 4 stages of fright, where there's fight, flight, flock, and freeze. And anytime that you are presented with something that frightens you, you either do one of those things. You fight, or you run away, or you freeze, or you go together with a group. And I think that there's a lot of group thinking with the negativity of the Ouija board and divination. It's like a group thought, a group think sort of thing, where well, that guy says it, so it's got to be true. So I'm going to go with this crowd, and I'm going to say that's really bad.
I think people are sheep because they just don't want to learn. They don't want to change. They just, like I said, blinders on, and that's sad. They're missing out on so many things just because they're not open-minded.
Agreed.
So we look at divination, or I do anyways, and do you believe that divination works? Anyone, I don't care.
Well, with the pendulum, it's easy, yes and no, and you can tell that it's working after the fact. So yeah, I think it does work to some people. Maybe not the close-minded.
I can tell you from experience that when I use my pendulum and I'm using it for myself and I am like unsure about something, it's never like steered me in the wrong direction.
Right.
It's always been truthful, and I trust it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
But is it really the instrument, or is it the person? So, for instance, I've taught pendulum dowsing to several people, and I also demonstrate it on a lot of the events and tours that I do as well. And the pendulum gives you information, and a lot of times it can be correct and everything else. But I also know I can control that pendulum. I always do the demonstration is Ron the smartest guy in the world, and it always says yes. Unless, of course, I am the smartest guy in the world, and I've seriously felt that.
It's your pendulum, that's why.
But it's to me, and I'm putting my scientific cap on now, is that we are the one that's really influencing the pendulum, the Ouija board, or whatever they. Who's moving the pendulum? Is it really some spirit or anything else? Or who's moving the planchette? Is it really a ghost or something else? Or is it a participant in the thing? Same with table tipping and other things. In other words, and it may not be consciously. It certainly is probably subconsciously, but that's my feeling. And I know that when Karen Keith was over here, when I was working with him, he was talking about the idea of a modic effect. Since I can never say English, I have no idea what the frick I'm talking about. But it's minute nerves and everything that influences. Even though your hand doesn't move, you still can influence the object you're moving.
So we're using energy? Is that part of it?
Is it energy, or are you just subconsciously moving the particular object?
Well, in some cases you probably are, but in other, because I always watch and I make sure that my hand's not moving or anything. Sometimes you kind of feel something going down your arm. I don't know if it's, muscle or if it's energy, but you're not out there doing it, and it's overtly that we're making it happen. So it's
I'm not saying difficult. Overtly. I think it's more. Les, what do you think?
Well, Marla, have you ever asked the pendulum anything and then you're surprised by the answer?
She just rubbered over me.
No, I didn't. So, like, you ask a question and you're totally expecting it to be yes, and it's like no, and you're like, what do you mean no?
No, I have had that.
So in that case, I think that I am not controlling that. It's something higher than me that's controlling it. I've been doing it for years and years and years. I did a little experiment in my basement I got 15 years ago where I was just after Kieran O'Keefe had come over and saying, it's your tiny little muscles, you're doing it yourself. And I was like trying to prove that, honestly, I am not influencing this through my wants and my needs. So I wrapped it around a pipe in my basement. And so I was touching it with a piece of jewelry that I had attached to it. So I couldn't manipulate it at all. and it moved, and I wasn't doing it. But there's always going to be no, I wasn't, and there's always going to be naysayers that's like, oh yeah, you were doing it, you must have been breathing on it, something. But when you trust in something and you know that you're being honest and true, then I don't care what you say. I really don't. I believe what is happening when I am using the pendulum is what's happening when I'm using the pendulum. I am not influencing it. I ask it all sorts of questions, and it always tells me the truth. And even though I don't believe like the answer that's coming, I follow that answer, and it turns out to be the right way to go. So I'm not going to poo-poo it, for crying out loud. I'm going to keep on keeping on. It's working for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
See, that's the part that I have doubts about. And I don't have a doubts that you believe that you don't influence it. My doubts is that you're not aware that you influence it. So if you, for instance, even in EVP, we don't understand some of these words, where they come from. Are they generated by a ghost or spirit, or are they generated by our own mind? We know that our body can produce EMF, electromagnetic fields, and it's very possible that we do it. Even if we're not doing it consciously, subconsciously, we're willing something to happen. So that's the part I entertain. I'm not saying that I believe one way or the other, because that's why I'm in this, is to try to understand everything that's going on, rather than just say, okay, this is the only way to. But I know of different influences. In other words, I know we can influence things. As a very example of that, as I mentioned earlier, I can influence the pendulum without moving my hand. Marla, if you saw it, you would say, that's what true, whatever came through. But to me, that's not the important part of all this divination stuff. The important part is where this information is coming from. In other words, yes, okay, say it's coming through us. Say we're doing the Ouija board, and subconsciously we're moving that planchette. Or say we're on the table and we're moving the table. Or say we're doing the pendulum, and the pendulum is moving. It's not necessarily that we're doing it or we're not doing it. The more important part is where the information is coming from. Are we like a large receiver where we're receiving the information and it's simply going through us? Like in Reiki, those who do Reiki, I don't know if you both do. I know Leslie does. You do Reiki?
I do too.
Oh, wow. Wow, what a Reiki trio here. The three musketeers.
Yeah. And the Reiki, when you do it distant Reiki, somebody across the country, and you do it and they call back and say, oh my God, how did you do that? Well, I'm not going to ask. I mean, it's just there.
Yeah. So the problem with that is you also have the placebo effect as well. So that's another thing you can look at as well.
Yeah.
But we also understand there have been studies done, for instance, on prayer, which is another form of divination, believe it or not.
It is.
And that is, intervention from a higher spirit or a spirit. And there was definitely results of that people who were prayed for had better results than people who were not prayed for. And so it's that whole aspect of the humanity thing that in the mind that intrigues me the most, is how much of our mind is really much more powerful than we really understand.
It's our mind, but we're too stupid to understand it.
Absolutely. At least consciously, but subconsciously we may not be. We may be controlled. And we know that, I hate to bring this one up because it drives me freaking nuts. Lou always mentions the bear in the back of the cave type of thing. How do we know that bear is in the back of the cave? Our ancestors did, is because they were able to sense it. So it's maybe that's that same primal ability that we have, only amplified. And we've got to take a break, unfortunately. So
No, we all have that, because if we walk into a room, we all have a feeling. Sometimes it's not good, it's not bad. I mean, I think we all are open enough to do that, but some people say, well, no, that's not happened to me, but it's not me. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
just, one of those things. I think we all have some things that we don't.
It happens this spring. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have to take a break.
I know.
You're listening to Ghost Chronicles, the Book of Shadows editions with Marla Brooks and Ron Kolick, and our special guest, co-host / whatever, is Leslie Martin of the Medium Rare edition. We have to do our Medium Rare edition. We're going to make up a new beginning for that as well and drive Roy nuts, the producer. So. Anyways, we're brought to you by Circles of Wisdom, 286 Merrimack Street, Methuen, Massachusetts, the Glant Messier Family Law Group, 15 High Street, North Andover, Massachusetts, and our super duper good friends on Ghost Chronicles Radio on Patreon. And we want to welcome our newest member, Cosmo Annie. And thank you very much. Become a member, $3 a month, and you get access to over 50, 60 pieces of stuff on there. I have no videos exclusive to there and all that crap. So check it out. You don't have to do a lifetime commitment to it. You can be on for a while and then leave. So there you go. All right, we'll be right back after the following messages right here on TogiNet Radio. Get ready, Illinois.
Do you have a paranormal event, book, or something else you want people to know about? Then why not advertise it on Ghost Chronicles Radio? With over 150,000 downloads a month, get your message out to an audience that's interested in the subject. We have a plan at a cost that fits your needs. For more information, contact Ron Kolick at anyghostproject@comcast.net or call 978-455-6678.
Located in Illinois, there lies a sleepy little town where nothing is a common occurrence.
You going to that party in town tonight?
Heck yeah! I only turned 18 once.
That is until the night of celebration.
Where the hell is she? Oh no. No, Jessica!
What's happening?
From the creators of Shadowhunters, Fighting Me, comes a tale of primal terror and grindcore mayhem. Shadowhunters, kill, Jessica, kill!
Hello, can you hear me? My name is Harry Price. I am speaking to you via the medium of the Ghost Box. Many of you will know I carried out the first live radio broadcast from Haunted House way back in 1936 for the BBC. Now, thanks to the wonders of modern technology, I am still able to keep abreast of 21st century ghost hunting by listening to Ghost Chronicles International on TogiNet, ParaX Radio, the Ghost Channel, and even on something called a podcast. Two splendid chaps host it. One is an American who calls himself New England's own Van Helsing, although I have discovered his real name is Ron Kolick. The other is Stephen Parsons, and he's a paranormal scientist. Well, mustache, I'm required elsewhere on something called a K2. But don't forget, I'll be listening in every Tuesday from 8 o'clock in Great Britain and 3 o'clock on the American Eastern Seaboard. I trust you will join me there.
Well, I guess we're back. I thought Marla would bring us back, but
I wasn't sure what we were. Ghost Chronicles. What?
you heard
Ghost
you heard the Book of Shadows opening.
I didn't pay attention to it. Sorry.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
Well, okay, this is Ghost Chronicles. I don't know what to call it. Yeah.
Book of Shadows, silly girl.
Well, this. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm getting
what
like
it
you
is.
now. I swear to God, I'm gonna go. Oh well. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
So, do you want to know your fortune, by the way?
Okay. What modem are you going to do it with?
Do you want to know your fortune?
Sure.
Of course you do.
Hear your fortune from Zoltar. Men of genius are admired. Men of wealth are envied. Men of power are feared. But only men of character are trusted.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're all good.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Zoltan
little-
always tells the truth.
It's a little Zoltar machine. It's awesome.
It's fun.
It is. And it comes with even divination cards.
Really?
Cards. Yeah. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
You have good stuff.
I have good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a good guy. And I
Yes,
was.
You're a man of character. A man of character.
Yes, I am a memory.
So
I'm a
that's who
character,
you can
that's for
trust,
sure.
right?
He's definitely a character.
I'm a character. Yep.
Absolutely.
hmm So, anyways, speaking about tarot cards and so forth, so what is the difference between using tarot cards to speak to the dead, or a medium just talking to the dead, or what's the third one I did? I don't know what the other one is, but that's all right. So, what's the difference?
Well,
Is there a
mediumship.
difference?
Yes, mediumship is not tarot cards. It's not astrology. It's not palm reading. It is speaking to spirit. Mediumship is getting information and working with spirit, both ends working together. Tarot cards are not mediumship.
Yeah, I disagree.
No.
What do you say, tarot girl? That would be the girl there. What's her name? Mala.
I agree with her. Yeah, speaking to spirit is one thing, and all the other stuff is kind of modular things, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
So when Maureen does readings for people, and they use the cards, right? But they're really talking to somebody who's passed on and given messages. So what's the difference between a medium who just gives you messages from someone who's passed on?
Sometimes when people read cards, you do get messages. I mean, you know what the card says, and if you don't hear anything else in your head, that's fine. But you can do it both ways. It can, like, people start doing cards, and then they eventually decide that they don't need the cards anymore. They just need to have the intervention with whoever's speaking to them.
So isn't that the difference between a good tarot reader and a amateur?
You mean because you're getting well enough to drop the cards and they're not a crutch anymore?
Read the instructions on the card and come up with that.
Yeah, but with the cards, they tell you, what card this means and whatever. But a lot of people that are doing tarot, they don't do that. I mean, they look at the picture and they make their own. Yeah, right. There's the word again. They make their own drawing. They see what they think it is, not what the book that they came with it. If that makes sense.
Exactly. In other words, I mean, Leslie, what's your thoughts? I mean,
well, I just did a reading for a woman a couple of weeks ago, and I was sitting across from her, and I was using cards not to tell what was coming, but to supplement what was in the reading. So I don't use the cards for the reading, but I use them to supplement in the reading. Like it's when you are speaking with spirit, it's like when we're together, Ron. the messages come through you, you get tiny details that are irrefutable, like pieces of gold that they're like confirmation that this is the person that you're speaking to, like the piece of jewelry that they're wearing, or the on their mantle, what pictures are on their mantle, or you go into their bedroom and there's a picture of someone in a swimsuit on there. It's the details that you get from spirit that count in the reading. But with the cards, you look at the cards and you say, well, I see here that you are a giver and blah, 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 blah. But you read into the cards, not what the cards are telling you with the booklet, as Marla was saying. But a true medium does not need cards to give a reading. Is what I was trying to say before.
So they just graduated.
Yeah, I mean, I did a reading one time, and I was reading from the cards, kind of, and I kept thinking about a pink cake in my head. And I thought, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. It's not what I'm reading on the cards. But it kept getting so bad that I told the woman, I said, I don't know what this means. I don't know where it came from, but, this is a pink cake. And she started to cry. And apparently, her father died, and every time she had a birthday, he would buy her a pink cake. Mm-hmm. And so, I didn't get that from the cards. It came from the other source, and it was a good thing I said it, because I'm thinking, I'm crazy. Am I hungry? My sweet tooth getting on me? We think about the stuff like that. And I just said, it just kept going and going and going. And I said, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what this means. I can't even tell you, but so, one helps the other sometimes.
Mm-hmm. To me, the tarot cards are just another form of divination. Basically, it's a tool you use to connect, like anything else, whether it's the Ouija board or the pendulum or the table or whatever. It's just another device to connect to the information that is out there. And I think I demonstrated this at Spirit Quest one year where I did a reading, and I did a reading with whatever was in my pockets. I just pulled what out of my pockets and threw it on the table and was able to do a reading from it. Were you there, Les, for that?
I was not there for that.
Oh, you missed that. It was a good one. I was so proud of myself. But there was just the items that were in there were just a tool to concentrate, to connect with wherever the information was. So whether it was from a person, whether it was from, I don't know, the what's that thing that the Akashic records, or the what's the other one that's the universal internet of the spirit. The greater consciousness, but it's just methods to connect with that information and bring it forth to give. And that's my opinion. No,
okay, so
we all have our own opinion.
Do both of you have certain modems that you use, like the pendulum and everything? And have you tried other ones and it just didn't work for you, or you just didn't want to do it? Or do you think you can pick up every one and it'll work? Sorry.
Start with Leslie, because she's the true medium.
I like the pendulum. I'm comfortable with the pendulum. I'm not very comfortable with the gosh, I lost my words.
So nice hanging around
rods.
me, isn't it?
There we go. Dowsing rods.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with the dowsing rods. So I guess you use what you know and what you're comfortable with. I have tried a lot of things, and I'm just most comfortable with a pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried just about everything, because that's what I'm here for, is to try to understand things. So, yeah, I have ones that I can do really well. Of course, that's why, as a perfect example, don't we have our own favorite tarot deck?
Mm-hmm.
I use angel cards. Yeah, because I like them. I'm familiar with them. They feel good. You do what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I use fairy cards. I hate to say it out loud.
And I use my witch deck, so there.
Right, there you go. So everybody has their own favorite deck.
Sure.
Now, does it mean that you can't use another deck?
No, you can.
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
It just means you're more comfortable doing it. So yeah, there are methods that we use, and the same with investigating. When we go to do investigations, there are certain things that your client, I hate that word, by the way, your client is, more impressed by is a good word. So for instance, EVPs, as much as EVP is so controversial, people are impressed by them. Mediums like Leslie, if you have a client and you bring a medium with you, they're impressed by people that, like Leslie. They can give them information from just their own mind, basically. So there are certain things that are very effective to impress a client. So so you're more comfortable with those. You'll be more apt to use those particular things than something else that you might not have. For instance, the spirit box or the hack shack, although I've had some decent results with it, you're not, you don't use them as much as Jim and his EVPs. So I think there's a lot of reason we chose certain methods that we choose.
Well, I think that we choose our methods because they're tried and they're true. They are not fail-safe, but they always produce some really good results.
Which is why we use it.
Whereas if you're looking at the Ghost app on your iPhone, you really don't know
Remember that.
what that's going to be spitting out. But so you use what you know and what you're used to and what works for you, just like with what tarot cards you use or what tarot deck you use or whatever. Because, we're creatures of habit. We really are. We are creatures of habit. And we feel safe in what we know.
Yeah, what we're comforting to. Sometimes you pick something up and you just, for whatever reason, it's not like putting on your slippers after a hard day's work, Just make it comfortable to know what you're doing, and I think you do it better that way anyway.
I agree.
So can anybody learn divination?
Why not?
And if you so, how would you recommend they go about it?
They have to test the water, I think. Do you want to do cards? Do you want to do the Ouija? Do you want to do something? But whatever somebody chooses, any kind of tool, learn about it first. Don't just jump in with 2 feet, because it's not going to work. Or it's going to do really bad things. I don't know.
There we go. The really bad things.
Well, yeah, I know. And
good
and bad
things can happen.
Do bad things happen because there's bad things out there, or the bad things happen because we believe there's bad things out there?
I think there's bad things out there. There's good and bad. You have to have the light and the dark. You can't have one the other. Yeah.
The black and the white. The male and the female, except nowadays don't count. Anyway, okay, so as people who divinate, I don't know what you call it, divinators. As divinators, what is your responsibility?
To yourself or to other people? Yeah, go ahead.
I think that anytime that you are conversing with someone who's in front of you and they are expecting you to come through with a message from spirit, that is a huge, huge responsibility. And I don't take it lightly. And it's something that is sacred. And For all the charlatans out there, I mean, I don't know how they do it, because it is such a sacred thing for me that I couldn't dream of trying to make something up or trying to fluff my way through something, because that's not something that you can do. There's no way that you can have a good heart and try to fool somebody. And it's a big stickling point for me. So anytime I go into an investigation, Ron can tell you, I'm always like, oh my God, what if I don't get it? Oh my God, what if I let these people down? I am so worried about, fulfilling what they are looking for. So what was the question?
What is your responsibility as a divinator? That's what the question was.
As my responsibility is to bring forth the truth and nothing but the truth. Absolutely, period. And that's my answer.
Yeah, and if you're reading for somebody, I mean, there's a way to say things that you don't want to really say something very harsh, but you can kind of say it in a nice way. You have to tell people things, but you don't have to just slam them in their face and make them, get the blood pressure up or something. Yeah, and that's really important to do. Yeah.
Once when I was starting out, I said to a client of mine, I was like, so your mother's getting ready to die?
Oh.
I probably should have said that.
Oh, my God.
You really said that?
Cry, and I did. And she started to cry, and she said, yes, she's given up on life, and she just doesn't want to be here anymore. So, it was the truth, but I really could have found a better way to say it.
And sometimes it's difficult.
Oh, yeah. But it was the truth. It just flew right out of my mouth. Yeah. Sometimes you have to be a little more delicate than, than you are.
Depending. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But there times you should withhold the truth.
I don't think so.
Well, if it's not for the greater good of the person who's sitting in front of you and they really don't need to know, I won't say it.
Yeah.
Like there was a person in front of me, and I had their mother who did not like their partner, who this person loved very much, and didn't like them very much. So I just kept that to myself. He doesn't need to know that, so I'm just going to keep it to myself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's happened a few times too, and it's not important to the outcome of what the reading is talking about.
Right. And now they're happily married, so.
So
what are you going to do?
So you can lie. That's the bottom point. Okay, very good.
I didn't lie. I just didn't say. That's a lie of omission. Is that what you're saying that is? But I think it was for the greater good.
Whatever.
The greater good.
Yep, sure. Okay. I believe you. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, you mentioned, Leslie, about bakers and up there. How can you tell a good, or a real reader, I guess is a good term, against these, would you call them charlatans? Yeah, charlatans actually, which is a strong word, but okay, I'll go with that. How can you tell the difference if you get a reading or if you go to a medium?
If they're telling you pertinent information with details, personal details, then they are connecting with spirit. If they're talking about your totems and your spirit guides, that's probably not someone who's going to be giving you a true meaning.
Wow.
So
that's pretty harsh to all our shamans out there.
Well, I mean,
I'm staying clear of that one. I have friends that are shamans.
Okay. I didn't say shamans. I said charlatans.
Yep. That sounds awful close to that.
No.
Spirit guides. Spirit guides.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Shamans are not mediums. Shamans are shamans. They do a different thing. That's not connecting with spirit and bringing forth information from the other side.
Spirit guides.
But that's not mediumship. That's shamanism. That's different. That's bringing you on a journey underground, and that's different. That is not mediumship. There's a difference.
All right, I agree with you. Sure. Paula?
You asked.
I don't think I'm going to stick my foot in this one. I don't know. No, it's.
I'm turning the rotisserie now.
Well, okay. So one other reason to that they're not on the ball. It said when they say, okay, now next week when we're here, it's going to take 6 months to get this thing fixed up, and so they want the money. So that kind of it's okay to go back once or twice if you need to, but some people do it like in a doctor's office. Okay, we'll see you in a month, and bring your wallet kind of thing.
Wow. Harsh, very harsh.
Agreed. Emphasis on the greed.
Or greedy. But anyways.
One of my teachers always said that if you sit with a person for a half an hour and you bring forth the information that is pertinent and accurate and specific, they will know that you are talking to the person on the other side, and they're not going to need more than a half an hour. Usually, my sessions that I've had have lasted like an hour and 15 minutes, but because I feel like they want more, right? So I just stay with them and talk with them and whatever. But that was her draw the line point. 30 minutes. That's all you need. So, and then you're not saying I'm going to make another appointment with you, because they should have gotten everything that they need in that 30 minutes to an hour.
But there are some people where here we go with the client word again. Client is actually looking for additional sessions.
Well, then I've given you what I've given you, and you're more than welcome to go find another person to help you with that.
So you couldn't give them more information in a month.
Well,
you couldn't reconnect with that spirit to see if they did what they were supposed to do and give them an update.
I've done readings like once a year for a person. Like,
it's
like, hey, it's been a year. Can I have another reading? Yeah, sure. Whatever. Right. But I am not going to, okay, next week we'll do chapter 2, that's what I'm saying.
And a lot of people get addicted to it. It's like the horoscope. You have to read it every day to see what's going on. People get really tied up and, oh, no, I have to have a reading once a week or whatever. And that's It's not healthy.
Or I can't make a decision without you telling me if I'm making the right decision.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me before.
So is it more emotional support?
Kind of.
Yeah.
So is that a bad thing, that you're helping someone who is lonely, having somebody who has problems, and you're guiding them through this rough period of their lives?
That's hard to answer.
That's tricky.
Both of us got really quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm all about helping people, but when people are clamoring for something that you can't give them, then you have to say you're going to have to move on to someone else, because I've helped you. I'm clearly not giving you what you need. So why don't you try another person?
And we can't try to be their best friends. Can't do that.
Okay. Well, he had to be with each other, help each other. Anyway, okay. Moving right on, because we're just about out of time anyway. Is that, I always intrigued by, how one person likes one. I mean, I know a lot of mediums, and so I've had people that have gone to different ones, and they'll say, oh, I like her, or I like her. Is it more personality, or is it more the information that they're given? And you got to make it quick, because we're down to a minute.
Both.
Both?
Yeah. But again, personality is, important too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And again, you're comfortable with what you're comfortable with, right? You're comfortable with a certain person. you're going to want to stick with them.
Well,
Because who
unfortunately,
likes change?
I'm uncomfortable now because we've run out of time. So I want to thank you both because it was really intriguing tonight. I just learned so much from you two. You've been amazing.
That's what we do, Marla, right? We just be amazing.
Yep,
All right.
absolutely.
So, anyways, you've been listening to Ghost Chronicles Book of Shadow right here on TogiNet, brought to you by Circles of Wisdom, 286 Merrimack Street, Methuen, Massachusetts, the Glant Messier Family Law Group, 15 High Street, North Andover, Massachusetts, and our very good friends on Ghost Chronicles Radio and Patreon. Become a member and help let us bring you more of these wonderful shows. Good night, everyone. Good night. Oh, of course, our special guest has been Leslie Martin. Thank you so much, Leslie. And good night. God bless. And mote it be, whatever.
Whatever.
From ghoulies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.